where the Women's Open start, the Women's 27s will follow. We saw an epic game between the Women's Opens teams of England and South Africa a couple of hours ago. Now it's time for the Women's 27s teams from both nations to serve up what we anticipate here will be a classic semi-final in the Women's 27s division at the University of Nottingham's Highfields Sports Complex. Beautiful day for touch here in the East Midlands of England. Welcome, wherever you're watching us across the world. 51 nations and counting are watching the 2024 Touch World Cup. My name's Chris Wearmouth. To my right is Mel Day. Mel, what are you expecting from this?
Well, if it's going to be anything based on their pool game, a really, really exciting match. They've come straight from the pools into this semi-final. So these two teams finished second and third. The only loss that South Africa had in the pools, apart from to Australia, was to this English team, and it was only by one, 5-4, I believe the scoreline was the last time these two teams met. So a very, very close match, hopefully to come.
Katie Fielding takes play over the halfway line. England, European champions on multiple occasions, have been globe-trotting to set up their campaign this World Cup, including going to Singapore earlier in the year. But, as Mel said, they found it tough against South Africa earlier in the pool. England's only loss of their campaign coming against Australia, who, unsurprisingly, as with every pool here at the 2024 World Cup, have dominated. And South Africa, their previous attack from the tap-off, the move came to nothing when the ball hit the ground from Kutlwano and Magashula.
Yeah, Magashula, I've called another game for the South African Women's 27s, and she's been on fire. A player to watch, Elizabeth Jane Ringrose and Nabila Boltman. I remember those two names very clearly from their previous match.
Question is whether they can do more with this attack than what happened previously when the ball hit the deck. England making the touch, and here comes the pace from South Africans number 6, Mona Lisa Tiacha. Shut down by the English. Ball comes back to Linda Wilson.
Yeah.
But once again, hits the deck from the South Africans. England's defence, they've had to defend two tap-off moves essentially in their own half, and they come out. Jamie Cohn takes the touch. Up to halfway come the English. Lucy Snape up to the 10-metre line. England getting some good play going forward here. Rosie Kells takes the touch. Here comes the pace. Izzy Moore.
Oh, I would have liked to see Izzy Moore just hold the ball for a little bit more. The number 3 for England, she has got some rockets on her. And when she gets through the line, there's not a lot to stop her, as South Africa stuttering a little bit, driving towards their sub-box. One thing that's impressed me about the South African team is the way they do sub-on. They do it from depth and they do it at pace. And here they go with a penalty for a hard touch against the England team. So ideally positioned.
And that's
South
a fair
Africa.
enough call, because we could hear the slap all the way on this side of the field against the wind. And South Africa now can essentially run their third tap-off move of the half, stretching the English. Here comes Zandali Pillay. England scrambling across to shut things down. Plenty of encouragement coming from both sub-boxes. Jarnell Charlie takes the touch, and England, for the third time, have defended a tap-off move in their own half. Snape, working her way towards the box, takes the touch. Ball up to halfway. Snape, once again, England keeping the same players on. Beth Newton takes the touch for the second time, and here come England. Moore, and a penalty. Will they look to make changes now or keep the same players on? They've run an attack and then a defence and then another attacking set. Quite unusual. Snape takes the touch. Sally-Ann Butsworth finds Isabel Moore, but the South Africans dart across to shut that attack down. Kells. And now Buttsworth.
Good.
Gets the ball back. Kells goes right this time, on the scoop, looking for support. Snape just can't collect. There was a covering defender there anyway.
A lovely set of attack, though, from this England team. Confident set of attack. They played their final match, pool game against Australia this morning, which was a very tough game. They were beaten by Australia, but I think that was exactly the match they needed coming into this South African semi-final.
That's the second heavy touch given on that far side against the English. And South Africa start again from just about halfway, but this time they've lost control on the floor.
Unlucky there, South Africa. They just need to watch their roll balls because they're getting some calls for them in some very positive field territory, but they're just not able to take advantage of it. Great defence there by Casey Claire Vanderberg, the number 1 for South Africa.
England not doing anything too complicated at the moment. They get fresh legs on. Anna Wilson finds Eleanor Pitcher, and now Wilson once again. Oh, it's just eludes Pitcher. Hometown girl, hometown lady.
Yeah, Anna Wilson, a class player. She rested for the Australian game this morning, so she's going to be feeling fresh and definitely up for this game as it's 4th touch just over the halfway line for South Africa. Spreading the ball now.
Show and go there from Rachel Ann McMahon, and it's got England rocking on the back foot. McMahon once again gets the ball out this time. England are forced to scramble.
This is good from South Africa. They need to go forward again. They got the 6 again. Lovely, lovely attack from South Africa. Throwing the ball around and forcing that 6 again.
And they're switching it up as well, getting a couple of different players on, asking some challenges, posing challenges, should I say, to the English defence.
Yep, Kulwano Magashulu on the field, the number 12.
And this time a loss of control lets the English off the hook. South Africa, an interesting little play there, wasn't it? Just playing a bit of jouet.
Yeah, playing a bit of one-touch out there, South Africa on their 5th, and they just need to take advantage of those repeat sets in the England half.
England working their way off the field. Nikki Bird, really experienced campaigner, takes a touch. Izzy Moore takes a touch, and Cone once again. Just falls apart a little bit by the English there. The South Africans getting in their faces. England's transition, not smooth.
Yeah, that was brilliant defence. Nabila Boltman in the middle of the field, the number 9, getting up with her mid, forcing an error. And here they go. Ringrose with the backwards visor. Always easy to spot on the field.
It's getting really tall. What great play, great defence from both teams, and a bit of jouet as well coming in from Pillay in the South African mids, and she gets the ball straight back again. Gets it wide, and the ball hits the deck. And that's a forward pass. Lovely bit of jouet there from Pillay and Elizabeth Jane Ringrose there in the South African mids, meaning the English players had to be really on their feet, and England now get a penalty for offside. Tap comes in from Sally-Ann Buttsworth.
Going very direct here, England.
Jamie Cone. You can hear there's no doubting in the touch count from the English box right in front of us. Buttsworth looks to go wide, but the ball lost of control.
Yeah, just looked like it slipped out of her hands there, just straight out of the hands. No juice on it. And South Africa working off their line and driving towards their sub-box.
There was only one try in it in the pool game between these two teams, and there's absolutely nothing between them midway through the first half of this Women's 27 semi-final. South Africa in the trademark green get a fresh set of 6.
Tatia again, scooping from half and forcing that 6 again from Isabel Moore's hands. Lovely, lovely from Tatya. She's dangerous wherever she is on the field. And remember, there's no New Zealand in this 27s division, so a win here will guarantee a medal to either team.
Chacha playmaking once again and gets the ball back off the floor and is attacking Jamie Cohn's channel in the mid. Chacha takes that touch on Cohn on the 7, gives herself plenty of space to play with. Touch comes in, 1-3 on another. That's Izzy Moore on Whitney Sarah Richardson.
Plenty of space on the left-hand side of the field here.
This time feeds the play back into the middle. Chacha goes left. England's defence holds firm once again, and that's a penalty for throwing the ball, well, leaving the ball behind. And they go back 10. Where can I take it from, says Cohn? Just there, says the referee.
There's been a lot of 10 metres given away by teams throwing the ball away in this tournament as England take advantage of it, streaking over the halfway line. 4th touch coming. They'll be able to set up a very strong strike dump here.
Snape now with the ball in their hands. Nikki Marsh there as well, number 14, and so is Rosie Kells, and it's Kells who takes off from half. She says she got support out there on the wide, looking for it. And they scored. No, touch comes in on Annabelle Jansen over on that far wing.
What
South Africa.
A touch this is, Chris.
Chacha there to put Marsh under pressure, and the touch comes in on Menka Singh. Annabelle Jansen diving, and the English thought they scored here in the sub box. South Africa not let off the hook because there was nothing lucky about that. That was fantastic defence out by the winger to shut things down.
And this is 5th touch for South Africa. They need to create something. Hands out left. And it's a turnover. When they start to put it through the hands, South Africa, I think that's when they look most dangerous.
This is bubbling like a saffron risotto. Very tasty, worth waiting for, and extraordinarily well produced. These two teams, very well coached. Lots of communication, serving up touch of the highest quality here in Nottingham.
Yeah, the experience of these 27s teams. There's been multiple times this weekend that we've heard people asking, oh, what's that game over there? And when they hear it's 27s, not Women's Opens, they're very, very surprised. The skill level for these players, the speed at which they're running, none of them would look out of place in the Women's Opens division.
But here comes the pace. Oh, what an amazing touch, diving touch there on Amy Dixon comes Rosie Kells at absolute full strength.
Amy Dixon, she is fast, almost got outside of all of those defenders.
It's interesting, women's 27s and compared to women's opens, it's a bit like the men's 30s and the men's opens. There's, this obvious difference in the end, but the standard of the play for both of them, absolutely ridiculously high here in Nottingham. Here comes.
Oh, she's through. She's through, looking for a support player. Passes the ball. Lovely, lovely try from South Africa. Marion Marcard. Oh, that was brilliant. How did she get through these two defenders? Switches back, finds her supporting player. That was class. South Africa with the opener.
Like a rabbit out of the hat, the South Africans have scored the opening try. England's defence has been rock solid up to that point, and it just collapsed a little bit. Well, it definitely did collapse there just for that, because Pillay was straight through the mids.
Didn't look like there was a lot happening either, but she just tore right through the middle of those two middle players.
I think because she was half and it was 6 touch, the English just let her go, and then were just unable to scramble back, and that's been compounded now by a hips not square at the ruck. South Africa get rolling into the England half. Touch comes in from Megan Burton over on that far side. But South African have got the wind in their sails now, and they're putting some pace onto this attack. Comes back to Magashula. Ball goes wide. This time it stays in the hands. Dixon looking for just the touch comes in. 6th touch. Absolutely crucial there from Beth Newton, because Dixon was almost away.
Oh. They've got consistently high attackers across the field. Magashul, the 12, she's creating everything. Pillay, Boltman. New Zealand full of classy players, and they're going to get a handover 10 metres away from the halfway line.
England with a forward pass off the ruck. Concede the penalty. Back they go, just into their own half. That's a real shame for England because they were getting a good roll on themselves. South Africa run the box move. Speedster. Elizabeth Jane Ringrose gets the ball again. Distinctive visor on backwards. Here they go again, Ringrose.
Pillay.
Fresh out of 6. Pillay forces. And the danger player for South Africa just created one, puts him into a fantastic position, but off she goes. The South Africans are mixing it up. It's the thing we've seen from both teams. They're really happy to do things that you might not see elsewhere. Keep players on for multiple phases, change things up when it just seems to be successful. They've got a couple of touches still to play with here in this attacking set.
They need to go forward now. They've given away a lot of space. They need to get the 7-metre line into play against South Africa.
One of those new players there, Linda Wilson, straight into the action, coming on this near side.
This is 5th touch coming. They can set up a strike dump here. Little quickie play, step out.
So a penalty given for a late pass.
I think they just burn a little bit too much getting those substitutes onto the field. They got very static, they got very far outside that 7-metre line, and they just need to get a bit more go forward, South Africa, as they're defending a very strong England subset. Nikki Marsh driving up the ball.
Here comes Anna Wilson, one of the key England playmakers. Oh, just gets touched going through. Looking to be ghosting away. The fingertips come in to slow things down for the English. Wilson. The ball just hits the deck from Ellie Pitcher.
Unlucky as there were some spaces opening up on this side of the field, Chris.
Yeah, there's both teams now, the fatigue is starting to play. You can see both teams are absolutely puffing away in their sub-boxes. 2 minutes and change until the half-time here in Nottingham. South Africa, one try to the good, but there is precious little between these teams. It has taken a bit of a breakdown in the English defence to create something for South Africa.
Oh, and they've got the penalty, South Africa.
For interference in the ruck.
And with Magashul, the number 12, on the field, directing play, getting it back from half. Trying quick quickie, dive in. I fancy the... Oh.
Nice been giving us a touch.
Oh. Magashul again, they're taking their time.
South Africa not rushing things at all. They're in proper conditioning mode now.
Absolutely, tightening up this England defence. And we'll see whether they put it through the hands shortly. And quick fire up over to the other side of the field, step back.
Good awareness there from, good play there from Nabila Boltman, to keep play alive on her knees. Here comes Nagashula.
Oh. Nagashula, I thought she was almost through then if she'd held on to that ball. A lovely attacking set again. How has there only been one score in this game?
Because both defences are as solid as their attacks are rapid. And England are going to have to show some more resilience on their own goal line. A minute and change before half-time.
And these England defenders, they're going to be feeling the fatigue. Fresh South African legs onto the field. Out to Ringrose.
South Africa just slow things down. I don't think they wanted to. There was plenty of pace. Ringrose and Marion Marquand and Pillay are all on. Danger players. Pillay set up South Africa's try and nearly was through again.
Pillay is just threading the needle here on field number 2. Little short runner around the back.
And that's a 6th touch. One more attack for England. Sally Ann Buttsworth takes the roll ball. Anna Wilson beats it out and gets the ball back off the deck. England are going to get one final attack in this first half. 10 seconds to play. Marsh up to halfway. Snape. Rosie Kells is screaming for it, and she gets it now. Pointed in the direction by Izzy Morse. The last play of the half. Here come England. But so comes South Africa, and this half, this enthralling, absolutely fascinating half of touch football, touch rugby, whatever you call it. This is fantastic sport, Mel.
It is very rare with a 1-0 scoreline that I am this excited about a game, but the ladies have turned it on. It has been end-to-end, plenty of attacking touch out there. And I think South Africa go into halftime deserved leaders at 1-0. I think their attacking plays have been exceptional. But England have plenty of speed. They're rolling into the South African line with a lot of attacking weaponry, and who knows what's going to happen in the second half.
Well, we see on the far side, South African coaches are all with their players. Here on this near side, the England Brains Trust is off to the left-hand side. The players are regrouping. One thing on either side, is it's going to take something special to win this game. We've seen a special try and a defensive collapse to create the only try of the game. One thing from each team to work on in that second half.
For me with South Africa, I think in previous games I've seen them a lot more dynamic when they've come on in their subset. It just seems a little bit static at the moment, and the players aren't really coming on from depth. In terms of England, I think it's the execution on these plays as they get up to the line. We've seen quite a few drop balls when the passing has been on through the hands. So it's just the execution in their attacks, and hopefully we'll see a very strong second half, and who knows, maybe some extra time, Chris.
A place in the final is at stake against more than likely Australia, let's be frank. But regardless, it's a guaranteed medal for whoever wins this game. Plenty to play for. We'll be back in just a second. A place in the women's stake. England tapping off at the start of the second half against South Africa. You can see on your screen 1 to South Africa, and if you are just tuning in here on the Federation of International Touch YouTube channel and Next Gen TV, seriously, where have you been for the last 20 minutes? Because these two teams have been serving an absolute classic here at the University of Nottingham's Highfields Sports Complex. I'm Chris Wearmouth, she's Mel Day. Mel, you were telling us a couple of minutes ago what the coaches would be saying, but how excited are you about the prospect of the next 20 minutes of touch?
So excited. There was one try separating these two teams in the pool game. One try separates them now, but in South Africa's advantage this time, as Anna Wilson takes the ball, passes out to her opposing mid. We can see a sweeper coming around the back, but a ruck infringement by the looks of it over the mark.
Overstepping the mark given by the referee. Wilson there. England, their tap move got them up to the 7, but no further before they conceded the penalty. South Africa led off this time by the English error, and they are all over. The English coming with their rolling sub-play. Mel had said that they would want to be more dynamic coming off the sub-box, but they've got an awful lot to do on and around the 10-metre line with only one touch to play. England's D does its job just there. And now they get going through Wilson. Off the floor to Isabel Moore. And here comes Sally-Ann Buttsworth. Taking the touch, taking two players out. Wilson. I think that kind of just fell down the move there for England. Have to take the touch. Moore. Fifth touch, one to play with. Buttsworth comes in on a dive. Try given for England. It is 1-1.
Yeah, what a great setup by England. Looked to have broken down a little bit, but Anna Wilson passing it out. And we can see that first offender didn't make the touch. And try given to Sally-Ann Buttsworth. She's been a highlight of this 27th team. She's got incredible speed. As she's just demonstrated, she can attack that line like nobody's business.
1-1. Where we started 25 minutes ago, all square.
And England really scored that try through their midfield D. Locked down South Africa. And here they go again off their own 7-metre line. And South Africa need to do the same to them and try and shut this down.
And cliches are cliches because they tend to be true. How you respond on both sides to a try is absolutely vitally important. England wanting to go in front for the first time. They are driving through the middle. South Africa maybe tried to force things a little bit too much. England now, Daniela Mendes takes the touch and it comes off the floor to Marsh, to Snape, to Cone. Oh, sorry, wasn't Cone, sorry. Who's that on the far side? Ellie, who is that on the far side?
Menka Singh, that number 7 defender, coming off from her wing and shutting down that attack. That was incredible defence by Singh.
Megan Burton there hitting the line off the snake pass. Over on the far side. And South Africa are now getting that dynamic running from their box over here to their left. Taking the touch. The influential Magashula dictating play in the mid. She gets the ball back, finds Amy Dixon. And Kutwano Magashula in the middle there, turns the ball over, but as we say, incredibly influential there for South Africa. Here comes Rosie Kells. Now Burton. And Cone, Jamie Cone takes the touch. Isabel Moore finds Katie Fielding on the inside. South Africa are there. Here comes Moore. Speedster. Looking for support on the outsides. And that's a penalty given against Moore.
Very good defence there by South Africa. You could see they were all set for that 5th touch, all in a line, all onside, and they just shut that down very, very quickly.
Magashula works her way forward and over the halfway line.
Just getting caught on that touch, unfortunately. They need to start initiating these. South Africa well out from the England line, trying to create something on this close side wing, but a loss of control there from the team as England get the ball just a few metres short of the halfway, which they cross now. Nikki Marsh driving the ball forward. They're in very strong field position here, England. Anna Wilson with the ball now. Keep an eye on the number 12. She's a fantastic player for the 27s team. As she goes into half now, picks up, goes the other way.
Is that a fresh set of 6? You know what? I think that's potentially a fresh set. That is a fresh set of 6 called by the far side referee. That ball was played at. Understandable to be missed by the middle referee, but it happened so quickly. But England now have a set of 6 on the South African 7-metre line. Wilson feeds Pitcher, and Wilson now again. But this time there's a penalty given for a forward pass. England, just that error creep out, the error rate early in the touch count really doesn't do themselves any favours.
No, especially when it comes just before what looks like some very promising scoring opportunities. And just look at the crowds around field 2. It is just building and building here. Hundreds behind the score lines as South Africa get a fresh set of 6. And this is very promising for South Africa. They've conceded a lot of field position in this first half, and they really need to drive hard. But unfortunately, an incorrect roll ball.
6 minutes into the second half, England 1, the Republic of South Africa 1. I think, you know, it was about 20 minutes ago you said this could go into extra time, and I tend to agree with you. This has a high potentiality of an extra 2 minutes. The nerve-wracking extra 2 minutes if it happens. But here comes Sally Ann Buttsworth. Wanting to change that, Anna Wilson, the calm-headed Anna Wilson, the influential Anna Wilson, takes the touch, but Buttsworth puts the pace. Oh, just goes to ground. Buttsworth, the pass to Daniela Mendes. Mendes can't keep hold of it. That was an open goal miss there, unfortunately, for England.
Yeah, very tough pass to take. It was thrown around her ankles, and here comes South Africa. I'm going to say about 80% of this game has been played in a South African half. They need to get out of their half, whether it's through a penalty, but unfortunately a loss of control again. And South Africa, they're just breaking down with their drives coming out of their half. They need a set of 6.
It's a real curate's egg performance from this South African pods. They're creating an awful lot, but they're also making some fundamental errors, none more so than just that moment there. And it gives England the opportunity to build deep inside the South African half. Rosie Kells, courting play around, and she feeds Nikki Marsh.
But I think it's going to be.
But that's a pass given, that's a penalty given for forward pass. We can't quite see, we're just behind the England box here, not elevated, so you couldn't quite see, and they were all celebrating. You think, oh, the try's coming. No, forward pass.
And that was from sustained pressure on the South African line. If you give England enough sets on your line, they are going to score. And once again, an error coming, and England with the ball from tap-off position. South Africa need to get out of their half.
Say it's England are making their errors deep in the South African half. South Africa are not getting to the same position to do similar. Here comes Kells. She takes a touch on the 7. Ball comes out wide to Nikki Bird in that corner. 5th touch.
Menka Singh, her defence this game has been exceptional. That is not the first try that she has saved this game, as Nikki Marsh passes it over to that far side wing, and it's killed on a South African sub-box side, and they need the yards here, and they need to keep it for their set of 6.
Yeah, they need to get some dynamism out of their sub-box, and England's attack just then gave them the perfect opportunity to do that, and they come flooding forward to the South Africans. Jarnell Charlie takes the touch. The influential Zendali Pillay, she created South Africa's try.
Unlucky over the mark there. I didn't really spot that from our commentary position here, but they've had an over the mark, and unfortunately, just as they were building towards a very strong strike dump.
Yeah, it's England having the positions for all the momentum. And here comes the pace. Katie Fielding and Jamie Cohn. And here comes Izzy Belmore off the scoop, looking for support. Touch on the half. Great scramble defence against there by South Africa to shut that down. Their mirror plays have been absolutely superb every time England have tried to do that.
Oh, this South African defence, we can see the referees just having a bit of a chat down here. It looks like it's going to be a penalty against South Africa. It looks like for a hard touch.
Yeah, hard touch given. Hard touch given by the far side ref. Well, hard touch given by the far referee who's now in the middle, and then blown by the referee who's now on the far side. And England kept the ball alive. Isabel Moore, juggling skills. She pops it back up to Cohn on the 7. Moore takes the touch. Fielding, the speedster, through the middle. Dives! And Swallow dives in to put England in front for the first time. Just see this finish, just that step in and step out. Froze. Elizabeth Jane Ringrose on her heels. Nothing she can do. You can see she knows she's been done like a kipper.
Just that little bit of footwork, and it just wrong foots the South African defence. They have been a brick wall in this half and sustained set after set after set. But unfortunately, if you throw enough bricks at it, it's going to fail, and England slipping through with the try to put them up 2-1 in this half.
And South Africa compounding that by turning the ball over relatively early in the touch count. Gives England the chance to drive up through the middle. Here comes Wilson. Megan Burton just behind her. She plays the half, feeds Sally-Ann Buttsworth. England driving with intent. Wilson. Out to Pitcher. Ball down. Try given. England 2 tries to the goods. It's too early to sniff the final. But... ...
Yeah, this is when a team is most dangerous. Megan Burton, she is one of the top try scorers for this 27s team, and you can see why. An incredible finish by Megan Burton in that link channel, and South Africa will be desperate now to get one back. They haven't been up this end of the field in a very, very long time, Chris. I can't remember the last time they were challenging the 7 metres as they pick up from half and go on the outsides looking for a support player. But the England defence coming across. The referees are having a chat. I think there's going to be a penalty here. Yeah,
it's going to be a penalty for a push or tugging on the shirt there. But the one thing I was just going to say, just going back to that try, is it was really interesting how when Anna Wilson was coming, is that the other mid was right behind her. So it's freezing the South African defence, because you had the option there to play a quick ball if you wanted to, and that opened the space there for Eleanor Pitcher to dive over and score. And South Africa really don't want to see this happen, A, because it's an influential player on the floor, but also because it's using up valuable seconds when you're 2 tries down.
Absolutely. We've mentioned Chiachia a number of times. She's been an incredible player, but you know what, Chiachia, always the team player, hobbling off the field as soon as possible, knowing that this may be a time crunch when it comes to the end of this game. And South Africa trying to structure an attack here through Magashul. Oh, I think that was ball down there for me, and the referee agrees. And South Africa get one back straight away. First time they've been up in this England 7 metres, and they have converted through the magnificent Magashul with a beautiful dive through the middle. Fantastic work.
Rosie Kells had her hands up and she made the touch, but neither of her feet had made the whitewash, so she's offside. Play continues, and Magashula has been influential in her own right. As I said, just a little bit of a curious egg so far, but that was a lovely, shiny finish.
And a loss of control in that ruck. England, they need to cut out those errors. When they've got momentum, they score, but just a loose ball in that touch, and they've handed over possession to South Africa.
It'll be interesting to see how South Africa adjust as well. Player is still down over in the far corner. The medics and support from their bench, rather from their sub-box, sprinted over because they need a full complement. They need to know how they're doing. Get up is a scream from the England box, and they've got 5th touch. One more strike for the South Africans. Magashula dived beautifully in their last attack. There's nothing she can do there, though. And England get a drive on, going through the middle.
We can see the fatigue in this game in terms of some of these defensive touches. These ladies need to get in front of their player. A lot of these touches coming in from the side and letting the attack just roll on through the ruck here. This
is the last game of the day for these teams. The final for the women's 27s is on Sunday. One of back-to-back-to-back 10 times the final footy here at the University of Nottingham. Jamie Cohn, one touch to play, goes wide, and the ball eludes Beth Newton. Just agonising fingertips. The England support staff just to our right. Ooh, they know that was another opportunity, one of 2 that the English have had this half that has gone begging.
Yeah, and South Africa getting an extra 10 metres. This is what they need here. Now they need to hold it for their set of 6, control those roll balls, drive the ball forward. And here come the substitutes.
South Africa having to make adjustments in their subbing because they have a link down, out of play, off to our far left. Asking questions comes the 13, that's Rachel Ann McMahon, but she is half. England have the answers.
Skipping on 4th, and I don't think she had a lot of options there. I think the England defence were looking so strong, and she saw a couple of defenders up high as England give the ball away through a drop pass, and South Africa less than 2 minutes on the clock?
No, it's 3.5 minutes to play. This last 16 minutes has flown by. This is no less enthralling, more tries, but no less enthralling than the first half.
Magashula, the danger player, she is on the field.
This could, Magashula is setting up for a dive, but the ball just flies into touch, and that's a forward pass as well. Even if Zane Pienaar had caught that, it would still not have counted. England can now look to play a little bit of game management, potentially, with 3 minutes and change to play.
Oh, this is much better South African defence. That's 4th touch. England are going to have to set up a strike dump on 5th from a good 20 metres out from their own line.
Here comes Anna Wilson. She's looking for support, though. Touch comes in on Daniela Mendes. South Africa hold firm this time. Their discipline is good. England now have to defend.
3rd touch just over the halfway line. Great metres up the middle by Amy Dixon. We've got Ringrose on the field. Lovely dump, and we've got live players. Hands is on, out to the left, but just a bit too much juice on that pass, and it goes into touch.
Just once again, they're looking to exploit this near side, South Africa, or looking to create something on this near side. But Pienaar, the ball just too high for that occasion, and it's into touch. It's out of play. Here come England up to the 10-metre line through Anna Wilson. Nicola Marsh. Back to Wilson. Very much a club environment within this England Women's 27 setup. Wilson from Cambridge, looking for support. She's the half, it was 6 touch anyway. Turnover, and she's shut it's a great place to finish your set, but at the same point, you want to be on this side of the field, not that side of the field. And also, England have conceded a penalty for throwing the ball away, delaying the game. Pretty much the same thing. What it's done is it's made life harder for themselves in defence, giving the South Africans a finish. 80 seconds to play.
Oh, great yards here through the middle of the field by South Africa.
The South Africans need a try to take this into extra time. England need to stay solid to go into the final. Here comes the dump from Linda Wilson, and the scoop from Rachel Ann McMahon, and there's still plenty of treatment being given to the player. Still don't know who it is because there was the hobble over, but that seems to have been really important for South Africa because it's completely disrupted They're subbing.
That was Chia who got injured earlier, as England are going to want to keep it for their set of 6. Just over 30 seconds left on the clock. 5th touch. And they're going to give away a penalty, and this is going to be the last possession from South Africa. They need to work very quickly here and make it all the way up to the England try line. Can South Africa string it together with 10 seconds left on the clock? We're expecting to hear the siren any time now.
It's unofficial time. That is it. South Africa have one more chance. The touch comes in, and England are guaranteed a silver medal in their home Touch World Cup. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they have to fight for that.
That game was an arm wrestle. It was an absolute grind from the opening whistle to the final touch. Just an incredible performance put on by both teams. Once again, 1 try separating these 2 teams on the scoreboard, but I'd venture to say nothing separating these 2 teams.
Absolutely not. And Chachi's injury, both because of her influence as a playmaker, but also because of the disruption to the South African pods, absolutely crucial at the end.
Yeah, the girls really picked it up. There were some class acts from this South African team. Magashul, the number 12, she was outstanding at keeping her team in this game. But for England, once again, consistency across the board. I thought Isabel Moore and her speed across the field was very good. And Anna Wilson, you mentioned it earlier, her composure, the calmness that she brings to that attack, it's just incredible. So England with the win by 1.
England into the final.